Jacky Davis is a consultant radiologist and chair of healthcare professionals for assisted dying. Well, Jacky, I'm a trained observer and I suspect that you're agreeing with us today. The three of us here in the studio, Dame Esther Rantzen's daughter Rebecca, every caller we've had have said it is time to allow people to make this decision. To die with dignity, to save their loved ones from watching them go without dignity. Why is our body politic and our legal system behind the pace on this one?
Yes, you're absolutely right, of course. I've campaigned for this for years, as have many people, and it's not surprising that your viewers and you indeed are in favour of this. Over 80% of the British public want legislation for assisted dying, and it has become the big question. Why are the politicians not listening? And you just have to look around the world. 250 million people now have access to assisted dying. It's coming closer. Scotland, Isle of Man, Jersey are all looking to pass laws. And yet we see our politicians sitting with their fingers in their ears, not listening to the call for compassion for dying people. So it is a big question. And I really hope, for one, Dame Esther Rantzen has been so brave to do this, that this will break the logjam that we've got between what the public would like and the fact that politicians aren't prepared to step up and do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can probably offer you the reason why they aren't prepared.
Good,
and I would imagine, it is because it will come with a whole load of extra legislation, and it will be a whole, huge, monstrous amount of work, because one would have to consider where the thresholds would be placed, how you assess if someone is capable mentally of making the decision, whether there should be certain limits as to what level of suffering someone should be experiencing before they make that decision, what age they should be. Do you have an idea of, it is a huge topic when you start looking into that level of detail, but do you have any idea what a framework should look like for this? Or should it be as simple as, if you are over the age of 18 and you choose you want to do this and you can demonstrate that you are in completely rational mind, that you should be able to?
That's a really important point. Do we want to get bogged down in a whole load of details like that? We don't have to reinvent the wheel over this. This law has been present in some places for a long time now. Oregon, for instance, have had an assisted dying law for over 25 years. It works well. Less than 1% of the population actually use it, but everybody knows that it's available if they or their loved ones need it. And it's never changed. And that is, by and large, the model that has been taken by the other jurisdictions that have taken up assisted dying. So we just have to go and see how other people are doing it. We can take what they've done well and use that. In some places, we might not like what they've done, and we can change that. But we don't have to start from scratch. And it's really important point that other people are doing it. No one's ever put the law into reverse. Everybody's been very happy with having it. And quite honestly, all the objections and concerns just melt away when a law comes into place. People see it's compassionate, it's safe, it's so much better than what we've got at the moment, and we would just get on with it. And I hope that's going to happen very soon now.
And this suggestion from people who object to assisted dying, that perhaps people will be forced into it by relatives who want to get rid of them. Perhaps people will make, their mental faculties are too, inept to make these decisions, and so on and so forth. You'll know about this, but if we allowed assisted dying, I'll tell you right now, all but a vanishingly small number of cases will be completely legitimate reasons that people want to end their lives. I just don't think that there's any reason to block this anymore, because there will not be a massive surge of people. We can get rid of Auntie Doris now. It's just not feasible. It's not likely to happen, is it?
You're absolutely right. And the important thing about having decades and decades of experience in other parts of the world, which has been very closely monitored, of course, is that there's no evidence of people being coerced into this. And the criteria for the law in Oregon, which most people have followed, is very clear. You've got to be terminally ill with less than 6 months to live. You've got to be of sound mind. So if you're demented, you can't ask for this. And you've got to be a fixed purpose. In other words, you can't ask for it and have it 5 minutes later. There has to be a time interval between two requests, let's say. There is no evidence of coercion. But the problem is that the most of the opposition to assisted dying comes from faith groups. Interestingly, they don't represent their members. People with disabilities, people of faith, are, like the general public, in favour of a legislation for assisted dying, but their leaders aren't, and that's where the opposition comes from. The opposition in this country is very small, but it's very vocal. And they can't say, for religious reasons, they're on board with this, because we're a secular society now. But what they put up as a straw man in front of that belief is, oh, we're worried about vulnerable people. And churches ask their congregations to write sackloads of letters when legislation is being discussed, in order to say we're worried about vulnerable people, and they have no idea whether vulnerable people are in danger or not, and the fact is there isn't. But that's what we're up against in getting a law, is MPs getting sackloads of letters from people encouraged by their faith groups to write these letters, when in fact there's no evidence that these things are happening, and we really have to overcome that.
Thanks, Jacky. Thank you very much.